What's going on, man? Good to see you. Where are you coming live from? Are you in Nashville right now?
I'm in Nashville. I'm at home here in Nashville.
I love that. Right on, man. Well, Diego, Last Bandoleros, welcome.
You live here too, right? You're in
Oh
Nashville.
yeah, yeah. That's why I was so pumped when I met you guys at Brooklyn Bowl. I was never, or I guess it was maybe at the pageant whenever we met initially, and you guys were like, "Yeah, we're from Nashville, Tennessee too." I was like, I had no idea. I love that. Couple
Yeah,
local boys.
yeah, dude. It was obviously great meeting you, and thank you so much for being so kind to my brother and helping him out with all the drum
Oh,
stuff.
dude. Of course, man. It was funny because we were supposed to meet you guys like earlier in the year. Hessel was hyping you guys up and everything. And then those shows got canceled. And we were
That's
bummed because he was definitely really, he was showing us like your guys' stuff and talking a lot about you guys and the Sting connection because he loves the Police so much. And so we were pumped to meet you guys. And it's funny, dude, whenever we were at the day that the tour got canceled at the Aztec Theater in your hometown of San Antonio, like I'd never been there, and I wanted to go inside and take some pictures of the stage because like we were there, like the bus was parked
yeah.
whenever we canceled, and all the staff was pissed and everything. And so I went inside to take a picture from the stage, and I was just me by myself, and this dude was like mopping the floor. He's like mopping the stage for some reason, and he came up to me and he was like, "Yeah, too bad it's canceled." And I was like, "Yeah, we're pretty bummed, but our singer doesn't want to play without the bass player and all that." And he goes, "Well, I was hoping you'd play my favorite song." And I was like, "Well, what song is that?" And he literally was like mopping and he goes, "Jealousy." And he ran away. It's like ran away from me. And I was like, did anybody else see that guy?
That's
We should have came in and played
incredible.
it just for him.
Wait, what were you on? Are you sure he was there?
Yeah, right. Maybe it might have been like an edible or something down there. A little San Antonio edible.
There you
But
go.
yeah, dude, I'm glad we got to meet you guys eventually whenever we did. And you guys have a great sound, man. The Tex Flex record is amazing. I do have to ask who coined that phrase Tex Flex because that's amazing.
Yeah, I don't. I think it started floating around. We did a writing session in during pandemic around like November, December of 2020, and we were actually writing at Shaggy's place in
Oh,
Long
no
Island.
way.
Yeah, so it was the band, Shaggy, his crew, and our manager. And I want to say I think it might have been our manager or us. One of us was just like Tex Flex, but really what it is it's us flexing where we come from. That's what the sound was like. We were like, let's embrace our culture more than we ever have before. And then I think the flex part just comes from the production side of it.
Oh, nice.
Hip
I
hop.
love that. So Shaggy is in like Shaggy, like Say It Wasn't Me, Shaggy.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
incredible. How'd you meet him? That's amazing.
Through our management.
Nice.
Yeah, we share management. So we had met a couple times and came up in discussion like we should do a writing session, and I'm glad it happened because really that trip to his studio and that's those sessions that week made that album, kind of gave us a blueprint of the sound we were going for that record. So
That's awesome, man. I love that. Shaggy doing records with Shaggy. That's pretty cool. I like that. We're
yeah.
talking to Diego of the Last Bandoleros on the local bus. So I do have to ask, obviously Sting's a very important person in your guys' life right now and involved in your band and everything. What was it like to meet Sting for the first time? And how did that come to be?
you know I think for all of us it was quite nerve-wracking because I mean he's I think he changed music in so many ways. You know what I mean? Um, him with the Police, and then him solo. After the Police. So we had all grown up idolizing him and looking up to him. He was he's a musical superhero.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
In so many ways. And so for me, when you meet someone, you don't want to you don't want to start geeking out, and you kind of want to try to act like as normal as you can.
Yeah.
And what's cool is that he makes you feel so comfortable, and he is just the most genuine and gracious person I've ever met. When you think about it, when he took us on his world tour, we'd only been a band for a couple of years.
Oh, wow.
And he just did that, because he was a fan of the music. And that's why I say he's the most gracious person I've ever met, because he gave us such a big opportunity, and we got to see places that you know never been before on a total opposite side of the world, and play these incredible venues that all of our musical influences had played before, all on that world tour with him. Because he was a fan of the band.
That's amazing.
But yeah, it was very nerve-wracking at first, but he just makes you feel very comfortable, and he's a very sweet person.
That's awesome. And how are the fans? How do Sting's fans react to the Last Bandoleros?
I think they liked it. When we came back after the tour, uh, our crowds got bigger. So I think it worked. I think it went over. I think our set went over well with his audience. Yeah,
I love that.
What was really cool about that tour was he involved everyone throughout the whole show. So his son Joe Sumner opened up the whole show. Actually, I'm sorry, Sting opened up the show with one acoustic song, then Joe came on, and then we played Joe's last song with him, and then our set started, and we played like a 25-minute set, and then Sting came on for our last song, and then his set started, and then at the end of the show everyone was on stage. So it kind of made it very it was kind of like theatrical. It wasn't your average concert where the band plays and then there's a 15-minute intermission and then the other band sets up, and that it was very like much when the show started, it was this like musical flow,
That's awesome.
in and out of. Yeah, it was very, very cool.
Well, it sounds great too, because the idea that Sting opens up the show kind of, and you guys come on. So it's kind of like a revolving door and everyone's like, they're all together on the same level. It's not that weird opening act thing sometimes.
Totally. And I think, that I'm sure that helped us win over some of his fans. And again, coming back to say how grateful I am for him, like Sting doesn't have to do that. Sting just go on stage and play for 3 hours. That's what people really
no joke.
But that's why I keep coming back to that word, how grateful and how gracious he is, and how grateful we are for the opportunity he gave us.
That's awesome. What song would he open with? He wouldn't open up with a hit, would he? Because that'd be super intense. You got to open up. He comes out and does Field of Gold. You've got to come after that.
He was so bold, and like he opened up with like a new song. It was a new song off his album 57th and 9th. I think it was called Greasy Spoon, or it might have been Empty Chair. He would start with the acoustic song and then he would bring out Joe. Yeah. But I've seen his show recently and he kind of does the same thing. He starts acoustic. He starts Roxanne acoustically. And then the band, and they like launch into Message in a Bottle or something. and then the last song of the whole set is like Roxanne full on. So it's like, it's cool. The way he thinks, it's like, he doesn't want to just do like a regular show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I love that. He comes out and does Every Breath You Take, and he's like, follow that, boys. I love it. So you guys are from San Antonio originally. Did you guys form in San Antonio and then move here? Did you move here, then form the band?
Me, Jerry, and Emilio are from San Antonio, right?
Okay.
Jerry moved to New York, and he was off doing like the singer-songwriter thing in like, New York. Me and Emilio were doing the Texas runs with, we had a rock band at the time. And when Jerry would come home to visit his family for holidays or whatever, mutual friends would be like, man, you guys need to meet each other and start, playing, jamming. And so we did. And immediately, the musical chemistry was just there. Obviously with me and my brother, we've never been in bands without each other. So, but
that's awesome.
With Jerry, like jamming with Jerry, we were like, oh, dude, he speaks the same language that we do musically, and so we just started writing. He would come to San Antonio and write, and we would go to New York and write, and back and forth, and yeah, that's how it happened. But what's funny is we actually never knew each other while the three of us were living in San Antonio at the same time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's funny too, man, playing in a band with your brother. I've never done the sibling, but none of my siblings play anything, but I did play in a band with a married couple once, never again. But how is it touring with your brother? How is that?
And I love it. There was a time I played maybe like 3 or 4 months without him. It's just because he was, we were both busy doing other things for whatever reason. And I would never do that again. I don't mean to disrespect or discredit the drummer that we had, because he's a fantastic drummer, the guy that we replaced him at the time. But man, it's just, for me, I can't lock in with anyone the way I do with my brother. Like,
Yeah.
just cannot. Yeah, it's, we grew up on the same music in the same environment, and we're only like 14 or 16 months apart, something like that.
Oh,
Something crazy.
wow. Okay. Yeah, that is crazy.
Irish twins, as they say. So yeah, I love it. I'm sure it's not easy for the other band members, or uh, but I fucking love it so much. Oops, sorry, we're on the
No,
radio.
that's right. No, it was all good, man. No rules here at my show, that's for sure. It's kind of makes sense, because you guys are a rhythm section too, like brothers that are a rhythm section. That's why you guys are so locked in. Now I get it. It makes sense.
Yeah, what's funny is when me and Emilio started playing, we were like 8 and 9 years old, and we fell in love with Van Halen. And so I was on guitar, my brother was on drums, and we never had a bass player for like 5 years. It was just me and Emilio with guitar and drums playing. And so yeah, when I moved to bass at the start of the Last Bandoleros, we just, like you just said, we just kind of had that rhythm section already, because we'd been playing with each other, in the garage and in and out of bands our whole lives together. So I guess you could say the only rhythm section partner we ever knew was each other.
Yeah. No, I love that, man. It definitely shows in your guys' live performance. And this whole point of the show tonight is talking about people who've had like killer years. And you guys are the perfect band for this episode, because you guys had a great year. One of the cool things you did this year that I couldn't believe when I saw it online, you played on Good Morning America. How was that? Is that super stressful? I've had friends who've done it and they say it's super stressful.
It's stressful because it was so damn early.
That's what I always hear.
Some of our songs are kind of high, vocal range. That was the only that's the only thing I think any of us ever stressed about, was the singing thing, because it was just so early. But we were actually really excited because we had the opportunity to do Good Morning America, and we're fortunate to do it in 2020, but they weren't letting people come into the studio at the time, so yeah, it was all remote. So we actually filmed our thing live from San Antonio.
Oh, wow.
So that was cool, but we were really excited to actually do it in Times Square at the Good Morning America, studios.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing we ever talked about and worried about were like, damn it, are like, should we detune our guitars like a half step, before we go on?
Yeah.
But it worked out. It worked out all right. We got up like at 4 a.m. to make sure we started talking and getting, the vocal cords, as they say.
Oh, dude, I've heard people say they stay up all night and stuff. I guess that's one method, but I think that's almost like the opposite. Maybe your voice would go out altogether as a singer,
Yeah, it depends. I guess everyone's different, but yeah, like I said, that's kind of the only thing that made us nervous was.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite songs of y'all's is one that you sing, actually, Diego. It's Chupacabra. And I love that song. It actually made it on my Halloween playlist for the show this year. And it was great. It was a perfect vibe. It was very spooky, but also rocking too. Honestly. But is that a song? Is that a fan favorite song? Because when I saw you guys play that in Nashville, people loved it. I watched you from the front of the house in St. Louis, and there was a guy in front of me, and this is exactly the accent that he had. And I'm allowed to make fun of it because I'm from St. Louis. But there was a guy in front of me, and he goes, "What the hell's a chupacabra?"
I love that. Okay, so you put it on your playlist. To me, that is the whole reason I wrote that song. I was like, we need to write a song that is on people's Halloween party playlist.
I love that.
And I was like, what better way to do it than like write a song about this creature from our culture that our parents used to scare the crap out of us with, and use it to be like, you better go to bed or the chupacabra is gonna get you. And I guess in a way it kind of is a fan favorite because we released it like, just like, here's a fun Halloween thing, and then we started getting a bunch of DMs and stuff like, I can't wait to see this live. When you guys are gonna play this live? We found that when we play it, it's one of the most like danceable songs in our set.
Yeah,
I'm glad you picked that out. That's
Oh
cool.
yeah, that was great. Me and Scotty, a guitar player from the Gin Blossoms, he was loving it. I don't know if you keep up with those guys much, but Scotty, the guitar player with the long hair, he's
Yeah.
like y'all's biggest fan. He'll always like send me videos of him singing along to your songs. I love it. It's so great.
Crazy too. So like, we listen to the Gins a lot, and one of the things that came up on when the San Antonio gig got canceled is we were like so hard, like telling our manager, like, tell him that Jerry could play bass on the whole set. Like, it's fine. Don't cancel the gig. Don't cancel the gig.
Yeah.
We'll just carry on the show. But no, it's so cool that those guys are fans of the music.
Yeah.
It's the two shows that we played, in November were a great way for us to end the year. And I hope the two bands could play again together in the near future. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, I think it'd be a great double bill tour. That's for sure, man.
Absolutely.
Right on. Well, Diego, since you're here, man, one more thing. I really appreciate you coming on the show, by the way. I want to play the 5 random question game with you if you'd like to play, my friend.
I'm in.
All right. 5 random questions. Diego of the Last Bandoleros on the local buzz. What do you think is the ultimate Tex Flex? What would be the ultimate Tex Flex somebody could do?
Oh, I love this question. Tex Flex. The ultimate Tex Flex would be if I would have gotten in town earlier. The Dallas Cowboys are playing the Tennessee Titans right down the street from where I live.
Yeah.
Tex Flex would be to go to that game dressed in full-on Dallas Cowboy gear.
That would be. I would love it.
That's the ultimate Tex Flex. And it had I gotten town, with enough time, I might have done it.
I love it. Question number 2, Diego of the Last Bandoleros. What is one song that has to always be on your New Year's Eve party playlist? Doesn't necessarily have to be a New Year's Eve song, just a song that would be perfect for it.
New Year's Day, U2.
Love it. Perfect. That's a perfect one. Somebody said a long December by Counting Crows. And I was like, I guess that kind of fits because December's wrapping up. I guess it makes sense lyrically.
Yeah. And then what one I think too comes to mind is Getting Better by the Beatles.
Yeah.
Positive tune. It's getting better all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Any song about moving forward, I guess.
Yeah, it might sound, it's probably, cliche, but New Year's Day. It's also just such a good jam.
Such a rocking tune.
About it. Yeah, it's fantastic.
I love it. Question number 3, Diego of the Last Bandoleros on the local buzz. I got to ask, because you guys covered a Ricky Martin song at your show. Ricky Martin or Mark Anthony?
Ricky Martin.
Love it. Love that. You know what's funny is my jacket. I've had this jacket I've worn for like 10 years. It's got a lot of buttons on it, a couple patches. I just bought it at a Kohl's 15 years ago, and I've worn it on every tour I've ever done. And people tried to buy it off me, and they don't realize it's just a Mark Anthony jacket that I got from Kohl's. But it looks really cool and it fits great. It's like covered in buttons, and no one has to know.
Yeah, don't ever get rid of it.
No, never. I want to have him sign it someday. Question number 4, Diego, on the local buzz. So I have to ask you this. So if you could have any celebrity doppelganger, for instance, last night, backstory, someone came up to me at the Kenny Hoopla show at the Basement East and literally said to me, "Hey, man, do you ever hear that you look like Andy from The Buzz?" He literally said that. And so I was like, I've never heard that, man. And I walked away. I didn't want to get mobbed by people, but you could pick any doppelganger that people could say you look like. Who would it be?
Oh, I don't know. What about John Stamos, Full House era?
Oh, I could see it too. We're going to put that out there into the universe now. Everyone's going to start saying that to you. I love it.
What's funny though is I was out at. You ever been a Pearl Diver, dude?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was out there like maybe a couple of weeks ago, and this bartender came up to me and was like, "Has anyone ever told you look like a short Adam Driver?" I love how she had short in there. I started laughing so hard.
It's like it has to kind of insult and compliment at the same time. It's like you couldn't say Adam Driver.
I thought it was so hilarious. I'm like, I'm gonna start using that. I'm gonna put that on my Instagram profile. Short Adam Driver.
Ladies line up. I'm a short Adam Driver. I love it. Question number 5, the final question with Diego of the Last Bandoleros on the local buzz. So how long have you lived in Nashville for? You lived here for a couple of years?
I moved here in 2017. So
okay.
Someone else do the math.
So long enough to get this reference I'm about to make. So you can have your ultimate dream tour. We're talking 80 dates, direct support, any band alive or dead in the entire world. But when you come back from this tour, the deal you've made with the devil, which I guess would be me, is you have to drive a pedal tavern down on Broadway for a living for an entire summer. Do you take this tour?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it. Because deep down inside, as much as we are like, I'm never going to Broadway, I feel like a good party is a good party. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, all I have to do is drive the thing.
Yeah, just got to drive it, hang out with the hot woo chicks, and I guess maybe have a few drinks. I think it drives itself. So there you go.
Get a dream tour.
Yeah. And you get the dream tour, live or dead. You got to do it.
That's a damn no-brainer. I'm in. Sign me up.
It's kind of a trick question too, because I have friends who go do massive tours and come back and drive those things. So it's kind of a trick question. You know what I mean?
I'm in.
What would be the dream tour, by the way? Now that we're talking about it, what would be the dream tour you would make that deal for?
Ooh, man. Dream tour. I don't. The weird thing is I don't know what we would fit with, but like just listening right now, like based on like what I've been listening to, I would love to play with like Tame Impala or like, I don't know. Yeah, I'll say Tame Impala right now.
Yeah, I could see that being a good fit.
You know, that would be a dream of mine right now at the moment for sure.
Oh yeah, Tame Impala and Last Bandoleros. I love it. Well, dude, you passed. You beat the game. Right on. The prize is you just win. That's the prize. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. What is 2023 looking like for you guys? I know probably more tour dates coming up, things like that.
Yeah, right now we're going into the studio, I think pretty soon, maybe the next month or February. We got Stagecoach coming up in April.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes. And I just found out we're on the same day as ZZ Top, so I'm mighty stoked.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's awesome.
And then we got a big Cinco de Mayo show in Los Angeles. And so yeah, you know, writing some new tunes and you know, creating some new stuff. But
I love that.
I think right now we're looking forward to Stagecoach the most right now.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be huge. Have you guys played that before?
No, we haven't.
Nice.
We've kind of been waiting for.
Yeah. No, I love it, dude. And I can't wait to hear the new tunes, man. You got to send them my way whenever they're done. I'd love to hear them and spin them.
Man, you got to come over and I'll barbecue for you. We'll have some drinks and listen to it.
Oh, dude, it sounds like a party, man. I'm totally down.
Yeah, dude.
Right on. Well, Diego, Last Bandoleros. I got an open door policy for bands that I like up here. Just come up anytime you want, knock on my Zoom cam, and we can hang on the show. I love it.
Let's do it. Absolutely. Love it.
Right on, man. There he is. All of a sudden I disappear. I'm always just sitting here.